Rafael Espinoza versus Sergio Sanchez. 12 rounds in the 126-pound division. This is a title fight. Espinoza's first title defense after winning the title. Let's get into it. Let's start with the newly minted champion, Espinoza. 24 wins, no losses, and 20 wins by way of knockout. When it comes to seizing the moment, when it comes to waiting your time, when it comes to rising to the occasion, man, that was the embodiment of Rafael Espinoza in his most recent fight when he upset Robeisy Ramirez. Ramirez, coming into that fight, he was the champion, but he had a lot of momentum, a lot of very good quality wins, and he was starting to assert himself as one of the best in the division. Yeah, he was a champion, but we were talking about, man, can Robeisy be someone to unify the division? Robeisy is a talented fighter. You know how his amateur pedigree is, the double Olympic medalist, gold medalist. You know the talent that Robeisy is and how he breaks down his opponents psychologically first, and then the shots start to connect and to connect a little bit more. And as of recently, he's been able to close out the shows in his fights. When I did a breakdown of that video, man, I was like, I never really heard too much about Rafael Espinoza, but you can't ignore the physical advantages that he does possess. And I watched some more of his tape, and after watching him, and I'm like, man, this guy could pose a threat to Robeisy Ramirez. But I still wasn't leaning his way to beat Robeisy, but I did feel like he did have some things that could be a problem. But I didn't think it would be enough to edge him the win against Robeisy on the night. But man, when the fight started and what we learned after the fight ended about Espinoza, man, was that he came in with a great game plan, but he also showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit, toughness, determination, and above all, man, we also saw Espinoza, the character of him, show in that fight as well too, because he had to dig deep when his back was against the wall and find a way how to get the win. Those are the tests that we want to see a fighter go through. We want to see a fighter dig. We want to see what they got when things may not be working in their favor. Espinoza has a solid jab. For a taller guy in the division, he goes to the body very well, very consistently. He mixes up his attacks well, and he puts together solid, good, consistent combinations, and his footwork is pretty good to me. His reach, his volume, his movement, his work rate, it gave Robeisy some problems. That man was hitting Robeisy Ramirez from every angle that he could, everywhere that he could, man. He was also fighting a very determined fight as well, because when he got caught with the right hand of Robeisy, man, it looked like it was going to be over with. Right? Robeisy's a very good finisher. When he has his opponents hurt, more times than not, he's able to close out the show. But Espinoza, when he got knocked down, he got back up and kept fighting and kept bringing the pressure. Sometimes when you get knocked down, immediately, your first thought is to back up and kind of be defensive. But Espinoza, he went the opposite way, and he put on the pressure a little bit more. Robeisy does a great job of disguising his attacks. I think he tricked him from that southpaw stance, because Espinoza was expecting Robeisy to come through with that left hand. But last minute, Robeisy feinted with the left and came over the top with the right, and it caught him right on the chin. The IQ that Robeisy has, if I landed a shot that worked, I'm going to continue to try to land that same shot. And Robeisy was targeting that same side, and he was consistently landing that right hand, and those shots were kind of getting through. I felt like he stunned Espinoza again in that 7th round, but Espinoza just kept throwing with Robeisy and doing just enough. Even when he was rocked and stunned a little bit, he did enough to back Robeisy off of him where he could recover from the shot that landed cleanly. And some of those shots that Robeisy Ramirez was starting to land in the latter part of the fight, I was just like, man, this guy has a lot of heart. He's got a strong chin, but a lot of heart. And that is kind of what kept him up so much in the fight. Robeisy was so much offensive that he was starting to slow down a little bit. And Espinosa came on strong in those championship rounds, especially that 12th round, man. He just kept throwing and kept throwing and kept throwing and kept wearing down Robeisy Ramirez and weared him down so much that the man dropped him in the 12th round. And I felt like if he had more time to close out that round, he might have been able to stop Robeisy Ramirez, because Robeisy was exhausted. He was exhausted and momentum was in full swing of Espinosa, but that knockdown really helped him solidify that win. It was an excellent fight. I was very, very impressed with Rafael Espinosa, man. He showed us a lot in that fight, especially that heart and the will, the determination, and the character that he does possess, along with the physical attributes and skills that he has as well. So he's defending his title now. We're going to see how he performs on the night. Let's talk about his opponent, Sergio Sanchez. 22 wins, 1 loss, 13 wins by way of knockout. His only loss coming from when he fought Mauricio Lara back in 2017, 2018. And it was interesting. It didn't seem like he was, too damaged, but it seemed like he took a shot from Lara and it may have broken his nose, and he didn't come out of his corner after the shot landed. And that was the end of that fight. But I think Sanchez is a tough fighter, man. He doesn't have a crazy amount of power, but he does have some pop in his shots. He wants to find the right timing, and he wants to be able to let his hands go with a tactical, strategic approach to it. He's not just a guy who's going to come forward and just throw just to throw. He makes sure the timing is right. He's at his best to me when he's on the front foot. Most of his fights he's been able to dominate is because of the pressure that he's able to apply and capitalize off his opponent's missed counter punches. When he fought Giovanni Sanchez a few years back, he put a lot of pressure on Sanchez and just kind of waited for him to overcommit on a shot. And he caught him and he dropped him. So Sanchez knows what he's doing. Now, what I thought interesting about Sanchez's resume, man, he's fought some common opponents that Espinosa has fought as well, too. They both fought Ali Mwangi, and Sanchez won that fight by mixed decision, whereas Espinosa stopped them in 2 rounds. They both fought Ali L'Oreal. Sanchez won a wide decision victory, whereas Espinosa stopped him in the first round. Just for comparison, when you look at both guys' resume, they kind of traveled similar paths in a way. Espinosa wasn't fighting the greatest competition, but he was stopping the guys that he was fighting. Sanchez hasn't fought the greatest opposition either, and with the exception of that loss to Mauricio Lara, he's found a way to come out on top and to win those fights. So this could be a situation where he rises to the occasion as well, and he's the one on the other side of things, and he causes the upset. It could be, but of course we'll see on the night. So who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/thebreakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. I think this is going to be a very high volume type of fight. A lot of punches thrown. Both guys' heart will probably be on display again. You know, Sanchez is the underdog coming in. He's got all to gain and not too much to lose per se, because he's already suffered a loss on his resume. But now the difference between the two, right, is Espinosa is no longer the underdog. Right? He's the champion now. He's the headliner. There is expectations now. And we've seen what expectations can do to fighters sometimes, right? It can make the moment even tougher to bear if you aren't ready to deal with everything that comes with it. But at the same time, man, I like Espinosa to win this fight, man. I think he's still a very hungry fighter. I don't feel like he's reached his peak by no means. I think he's still hungry, and I think we're still learning more about him. And I think he's got more in his skill set that I think he's going to put on display in this fight on the night. You know, I feel like I've seen a lot when I saw him fight Robeisy Ramirez. He's got a lot of heart and will and determination to help him get that extra edge, right? But I like Rafael Espinoza to win this fight. I think he goes the full distance. I like him to win this fight by decision. Of course, anything can happen in boxing, man, but I like Espinoza to win this fight by decision. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Who do you think wins this one? How do you think it goes? Let me know in the comment section below. I don't always get to do all the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. Or if you'd like to become a member, just to show love and to support the channel, man, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated as well. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate each of you. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video, this time do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.